Hi, you guys. So I'm going to attempt a little something new that I've never done, and that is a YouTube video at 3 o'clock in the morning while I'm on my way home from work. So I thought I would just give this a whirl because from time to time I get a little sleepy on my drive home, and if I'm chatting, then I usually do just fine. But who wants to, chit chat with me at 3 o'clock in the morning? So why not do a YouTube video? So I'm attempting to keep a little light on here and just see how it works. Again, I've got you guys on my visor, so I'm trying to get it situated here so that it works. I can still see the road and all that fun stuff. So just it's completely safe, you guys. I am not holding anything. I am chatting and driving with you guys on my visor. So anywho, I thought that I would chat a little bit about working and homeschooling because I get that question a lot. So for any of you who do not know, I am a RN and I work 3 12-hour shifts a week, and my shifts are 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. I have worked shifts that were 7 to 7, and I've worked shifts that were 8 to 8, but it just so happens that the job that I'm at right now, I work 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. This is probably one of my favorite shifts that I've ever worked, simply because I feel like I kind of get the best of both worlds with this schedule. I'm able to spend some time at home in the mornings before I have to go to work with my kids, and a lot of the time that I'm gone working, they're in bed asleep. So I definitely, miss out on some sleep with the schedule, but we make it work. My battery's going dead. So anyway, let me just kind of start at the beginning and say that there's definitely a few lessons that I've learned from working and homeschooling. One of those lessons is doing some construction, so let me move over. Don't feel like you have to do it all. So when you work in homeschool, you have to pick and choose what you do. So you can't always be a part of every homeschool co-op. You can't always make it to every field trip. You can't always make it to every play date. You can't always make it to all these things. And sometimes it's a lot better for you and your kids if you just select, and pick and choose what you feel like is not going to send you over the edge of being overwhelmed. So find a schedule that works for you and do your best to be flexible. So I think that we all struggle with this a little bit. We want to bring like the public school atmosphere home when we first start homeschooling. And so in your mind, you're thinking that you need to be at the table for 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day, doing all this work. And if you're not, then you're not doing it right. But what I've learned over the course of the last 4 years, I guess it's like 4 years I've been homeschooling now, is that maybe 5, am I going on 5 years? I think so. It does not have to be that way. So whenever you are working a job and homeschooling, you need to figure out what your schedule looks like and what hours are going to be your peak hours. So for us, I know that morning hours do not work for us. They are not our peak hours. And especially with me working, and not getting home till 4 o'clock in the morning, I tend to be more of a night owl because of the schedule. I kind of have migrated toward night owlism because of my husband and his tendencies, and I've kind of like migrated over to his world a little bit. But so we end up staying up late quite a bit. I also have a really bad sleeper who is very difficult to get to sleep. So anyway, our nights are usually late, and we usually sleep in a little later than the average family. And I used to feel really guilty about that, but I don't fight it anymore because that's just our rhythm, and we're all getting enough sleep, and we just do things a little later than most families. So that's okay, and you don't have to conform to what everybody's ideals are. So for me, I'll just give you guys a little kind of idea of what our schedule looks like. On the days that I am working, I get off work at 3 a.m. I don't get home until about 4 o'clock in the morning. When I get home, I go straight to bed. So I go upstairs, get my clothes changed, I wash my face with one of those makeup wipes really fast, brush my teeth, and I crawl into bed. So I'm in bed by 4:15, 4:20, at the latest 4:30. I will allow myself usually it ends up being 6 to 7 hours. So 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. I'm usually up between 10:30 and 11:30. And there are days when I get up a little earlier than that if I have something going on. So I get up. Usually my wake up time is about 10:30. So I get up about 10:30, and I allow myself from 10:30 to 12 to make sure everybody has breakfast, to get everybody kind of, snuggled up and loved up on mommy because they haven't seen me a lot the day before. So we have just some cuddle time. I'll usually pull out our read aloud book, and we'll sit on the couch and we'll do our read alouds in our PJs. And it's just very low stress. I don't expect everybody to be working and going crazy and all this stuff first thing in the morning. So after we do that, we usually get up, we all go get dressed, we tidy up our rooms, and then we're ready to tackle some of our other lessons. I'll usually start a load of laundry, and this has ended up being about 12:30 or so, 1 o'clock maybe. So by that time, I'm able to throw in a load of laundry and get started on some other lessons. So we'll sit down and we'll do our math lessons, we'll do our spelling lessons, just any kind of table work that needs to be done. We'll kind of do it at that point. If it doesn't all get done at that time, we take a break. We may go outside or go to the pool or just clean up the house or whatever needs to be done. And then we'll try and finish up whatever needs to be done around 3:30, 4, 5 o'clock in the evening, afternoon. If I'm working back-to-back shifts, it looks a little different. I do the same routine of waking up, except for the fact that we do our read alouds, and then I'll try to go straight into whatever one-on-one lessons have to be done with mom before I have to get ready for work again. So I'll get up, breakfast, we'll do our reading, devotion time, and then I'll do a math lesson, a spelling lesson, and some writing with Mason, or and have him read to me. So we'll do that, and then we can have that done super fast. So that's kind of how we've been doing our summer school. So be flexible. Find out what your peak hours are. What works well for everybody. Do not conform to what everybody else, kind of puts out there. If everybody else in your, social media network is getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and getting all their housework done and everything, do not let that affect you, because your life and your rhythm and everything is not the same. It's not the same. You cannot compare apples and oranges. They're just two different fruits, and your family and my family are completely different. So we're all going to have our own little rhythms. So get that out of your head. No guilt, no comparisons. The other thing is, do not overload yourself with curriculum choices. Be very, very, very careful about what you're choosing as far as curriculum. I have made this mistake pretty much every single year that I've homeschooled. I have chosen too much curriculum and tried to do too much, and what happens is you overwhelm yourself, you overwhelm your kids, and then half of the stuff you end up abandoning halfway through. Then you feel like a failure, and you lose track of everything. You're not organized. I've been there, done it. So I'm telling you guys, the best thing that you can do if you are a working homeschool mom, and really this goes for pretty much any homeschool mom, is keep your curriculum simple. Keep it simple. Hit the basics. Remember to include life learning a lot. So there is a lot that you can learn through life skills. So the biggest thing that I'm doing this year in changing our homeschool is this. I am simplifying. Think about the curriculum that you're choosing. Go with the most, I would say, prepared, simple, not a lot of prep work. You're not going to have a lot of time to study, cut, paste, and all the stuff that some of these curriculums have you do. You're just, if you are working, especially if you're working full time, you are not going to have the time to do that, even if you think that you are. You're not. So you're going to have to remember this and go simple. So one thing that I love about CC, Classical Conversations, is the fact that it allows a lot of simplicity. So with this curriculum, we focus on the memory work. We focus on math, and we focus on language arts, and literally, and read alouds, and that is it. It's all included in the memory work. You can dig in a little deeper with the memory work when you want to, which is this is what our plan is for this coming year. I'm going to have some notebooking for our science and the history memory work, and I'm going to keep it super simple. That is the key. Because your kids are going to absorb a lot more information, and they're going to do a lot better in their subjects if there is less, and if mom is not super stressed where she's like scattered. So she's hit and miss some days, If you know that you can get to, 4 subjects a day and do them well, then just keep it at that manageable amount. So there's that. So then the other thing is be organized. You need to be organized with your school year before you start your school year. If you are not organized and know exactly what you're going to be doing for the year, I've done this too, by the way. Even my best organized plans, sometimes if they're overloaded with curriculum, they become disorganized and things go completely just wacko halfway through the year, or maybe even sooner. So be organized, get a planner, get a notebook, just like a plain, paper notebook, and write down what you want to do and when, and like a very simple schedule that you can stick to, and the subjects that are going to get covered each day. So you know what to expect every single day. If you need a delegate task, which is the other point I was getting ready to make, it's very simple for somebody to know that, hey, today is, math, language arts, memory work, Bible study, whatever. So have plans, but don't be afraid to change your plans should you need to. Keep your plans simple so that when you do need to change them, it's not overwhelming. So there are definitely times when you have to kind of rethink what you're doing, which is where the whole keep it simple comes in, because it's a lot easier to switch some things up if it's super simple versus super complicated. The other point is, if you have somebody home that can pick up one subject on the days that you work, just one, then that is going to take off a huge load. If they can do two subjects or more, I'm telling you, it'll make all the difference in the world. But say on the days that you work, maybe you have a spouse that, hey, can you please teach the math lessons on the day that I work to the children? That's all I'm asking you to do, is just get a math lesson in, and maybe have so-and-so read to you for 20 minutes or whatever. Schoolwork is still getting done. You are not at the home. And the task that you're delegating to the other family member is not so much to where they feel overwhelmed with it either. So that also cuts down the time that you need to spend with your child before you go to work or when you come home from work. And it relieves you of a lot of that stress. And it also is not stressful for the person that you're delegating to, because they think, oh, sure, obviously I can do a 20-minute reading lesson with, Mason tonight. That doesn't sound like a lot to ask. So anyway, share the workload if you can, if you're blessed to have that in your life. If you're not, go back to the keep it simple and just have a routine that works. Just remember that one of the most important things, and I have not always been this great at this point, but one of the most important things is consistency. So you need to get to school, get to the lessons as many days as you possibly can on a somewhat regular basis. That is really, really key, because the minute that you really lose that routine, things are going to start going haywire. Been there, done that. Nobody really knows what to expect. Nobody really knows when school's going to happen. You have to be consistent, and you have to have a plan. But with that being said, do not be a drill sergeant. Do not have such a rigid schedule that everybody can't stand to be around you, because you're going to be tired as a working homeschooling mom. And if you are not able to, be flexible on those days where you need a little more sleep, then you're going to be very grouchy. People aren't going to want to be around you. You're going to have a lot of tension in your homeschooling day, and it's probably going to end in tears, either from you or from your students. So, been there, done that. Have a routine, but don't feel like you have to stick to a clock. Like at 12 o'clock we have to be doing math, and at 1 o'clock we have to be doing writing and whatever. So have a general routine, but do not feel like you have to stick to it rigidly. Be flexible with your family. Be gentle with your routines. Try to be consistent, but remember that this is life. You're doing the best you can. Give yourself lots and lots and lots of forgiveness and grace, and know that ultimately our goal my goal as a homeschooling mother is to cultivate my children's spirits and their heart, and at the same time nourish their minds. And what we really want to do is give them a love and a passion for Christ and lead them in that direction. So remember what the ultimate goal is, and try not to let the other stuff get in the way, because it very much can. So anyway, I've been rambling a lot just because it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm just rambling, but I hope that this was somewhat helpful to somebody today, even though it's a dark car and it's probably a really weird video. But I get this all the time. I really, really get asked all the time how to homeschool and work. And I know that not everybody only works 3 days a week, but I'm just here to tell you that there is ways to get the homeschooling in and tweak your family schedule to fit the Bible talks about us, talking about the Lord and teaching our children when we, lie down and when we rise up and when we walk by the way. And to me, that says that we should be teaching them all along throughout our day. So it's not always like workbooks and all this table work and everything. We are to be teaching them and guiding them when we're doing dishes, when we're doing laundry, when we're out in the garden, when we're doing yard work, or maybe when we're dusting the blinds. You can be teaching and guiding them as we walk along the way, how to serve the Lord in everything that we do, and to work as if we're working to the Lord and not for men. You're cultivating so much more than you realize in those mundane tasks. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I've been rambling long enough. I hope this was beneficial to somebody, and I want to know what you guys would like to hear about. Like, what topics interest you? Are you interested in homeschooling videos? Are you interested in biblical womanhood? That's like one of my favorite topics. Are you interested in, I don't know what, raising teenagers? I'm not a pro by any means, but I love to share, life experience and kind of do this thing together. So you guys let me know what you want to see and give me some ideas to kind of be thinking and praying on and researching and getting into the Word and finding, wisdom and guidance through God's Word, which is really what I want to do. I want to just pull a lot of God's truth and wisdom into our everyday life, and then share how that is supposed to be infiltrated into what we're doing already. So love you guys. If you are not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe.